Now, here's your host, the Grammar Club.
Podcast. Welcome to Camp Hansoome. My name is Glenn Case, and I have brought our special guest here this evening. I will be introducing him here momentarily, which is to say that it is now. He is a screenwriter of sorts. He is a comedian of sorts. He is a podcaster of sorts. This man is a jack of all trades and master of some. And his name is Will Gilman, sometimes referred to as Big Will. Big Will, first of all, welcome to the show.
Hey.
And let's introduce the rest of the Grammar Club as well. You know them. You love them. It's Shale Riley.
Hello, pleased to be here.
And we have Ty.
Yeah.
And we have Sean.
Yeah.
Not presently would be Tanner and Beefy. And so from there, I figure one of the first things that I will do is we can tell the story of how we met. I met Big Will when I worked in radio on the South Hill area here in Spokane, where I no longer work. I still work for radio, just not there.
Yeah, I don't work for radio at all.
You don't anymore?
Nope. I've been out since a day after you got laid off from the South Hill.
Yeah, I got laid off, and then you got laid off the day after. Why?
Because the new company decided they didn't want to pay people anymore.
Yeah. That's pretty much how that works.
Yeah, Glenn gave me the office. He gave me a call, and he's like, I got laid off today, so I think you're going to get laid off too. So when the guy came in to lay me off, I had all my shit piled by the door already. So he was just like, if you need time to gather your stuff, and I just pointed. And he was like, oh, somebody gave you a heads up. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, it was Glenn. You can't punish him. We were all hourly. It's not like any of us were getting severance.
Oh, we were basically getting minimum wage. And one of our other people is the guy that's known as Selfie Dad. If you've seen the guy that got famous here online, he got online famous for taking pictures of his daughter and then mocking.
Well, you know that dude?
Yeah, I worked with him at the same radio station as Big Will.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a local celebrity of sorts.
The internet is a smaller world than it seems like it is.
Yeah, especially in Spokane. It's kind of ridiculous. I could definitely, he's been on Traverses, and I'm sure he'd love to be on the show at some point as well. But let's back to where I met Will. The reason that I ended up talking to Big Will to begin with was because I liked his hat.
Yeah, I'd found this obnoxious green hat with a one-up mushroom on it.
Yep.
And my mom was with me when I bought it, and she hated it, which made me want to buy it even more. And so I wore it one day, and Glenn was like, cool hat. And I was waiting for the bus, and he just up and offered me a ride home and realized we lived in the same neighborhood.
And a friendship was formed.
Yeah.
And that was exactly what it was. Because I had been that dude on the other end of that who had needed rides and had to depend on the bus system a lot. So it felt nice to be on the other end of that where I could offer a ride instead. Mm-hmm. And so I did. And then discovered that Will writes comedy. I think one of the first things I remember when you were still working at the radio station was a show that you did called A Guy Like Me. And
yes.
I was wondering if you could talk about that project a bit.
Basically, I decided about 5 years too soon to try to put a TV show online. And it wound up being a lot more work than I thought it was going to be. But I wrote 6 episodes, and I still think they're good. But that could just be ego.
I like them quite a bit. And I love that you have a character that is a preacher. Well, isn't a preacher, but he's been asked to be the guy who marries a couple.
Yeah.
And then he quotes from a specific Bible passage.
Yeah, he quotes Ezekiel 25:17 from Pulp Fiction because that's how little he knows about religion. So they're in the middle of this fake wedding, and then just out of the blue, he's like, and this reminds me of a quote from the Bible. The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides. And then I had my buddy Max, who was one of the people at the wedding, just at the end, just shout out, "Amen, brother!"
As you do.
As you do, for sure. So, and another thing that Big Will's done besides that, that's what I was talking about, the screenwriting. It is something that, how many episodes were filmed? You wrote 6, but I think you only filmed 4?
We only filmed 3.
3.
Because the guy who was playing the lead fell in love and decided, nurturing and starting a family and having sex was more important than making a silly internet show.
Yeah, I could see where that would come.
Yeah. and in a way, I can't blame him.
Yeah, absolutely. So then you ended up working at was Blue Door Theater before or after that? And if you could describe what the Blue Door Theater is.
I think it was during that.
Okay.
Because the Blue Door Theater is an improvisational theater here in Spokane. They do entirely improv, both like what you would see on Who's Line with the games and such, and then what's called long form improv, which is basically like everybody just sort of collaborating and telling a story.
Sure. Absolutely. And you were there for quite a number of years.
Yeah, I was there for 7 or 8 years, and then they asked me to leave, so I did.
That's how that works sometimes.
Yeah,
too.
they were just like, "Hey, buddy, you're a little dark and crazy right now. We don't need you here." And I said, "Okay." And that was about 1.5 years ago. So
that was actually a lot more recent than I thought.
Yeah,
So,
that was coming up on 2 years because it was September of 16.
Wow. See, but you, with like a guy like me, when we were doing that's been well over a decade.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah,
you were there as part of Blue Door for probably about a decade.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, and
probably close to that.
And it is one of our local like improv comedy theaters that's in a nice little area.
Yeah, it's a great little space. I haven't been to a show in almost 2 years, so I don't know how the shows are.
Understandably, yeah. Absolutely. But and around that same time frame, also you had a podcast called The Hustle.
Yeah, was doing had the Hustle show for a while. Had Glenn on a bunch of times,
and The Hustle lasted for probably about a decade as well.
Yeah, there were a couple of layoffs, but then we started back up. And then 2 of the hosts had a falling out, or I guess one of the hosts had a falling out with one of the other hosts. And so I've been saying that it's dead, but I obviously don't know for sure.
And at this point, if those 2 can't get along, then it may not be possible to bring it back, at least with the same name.
Yeah, like I still want to do my own podcast show, but I don't know what it's going to be yet.
Sure.
Because I feel like if I continue that name without one of those guys, that it's, kind of shitty.
Kind of a dick move in a way.
Yeah.
That's right. You were part of the TC in the Morning Crew, right?
Yeah.
So there's like a local Oldies 101, it was the Oldies radio show that you were part of with TC
and
Doug Dawson, who now is an actor in
Skeezy on Z Nation.
Yeah. Exactly. So the TV show Z Nation is filmed here in Spokane, and
Very
so
nice.
again, one of the other people that worked in those that radio station.
Yeah.
So it was us, Selfie Dad, Skeezy, and
yeah. I still remember one of my favorite things that we ever did is I did this silly news character named Burt Mustin.
Oh yes,
I sort of talk like this all the time.
you were basing that off of a local
local traffic guy was the
guy.
voice that I did. And because I was so in tune with the oldies audience, he did a he did a shout out to Barbara Walters to the tune of "Hey There, Delilah." And a bunch of people were calling like, "That's a beautiful song," and I'm like, "It's a fucking parody." And kind of a hastily written one.
Yeah, I think one of the better ones that Dougie asked me to help out on that is we did a Thanksgiving song where it was to the tune of Staying Alive with the Bee Gees, but it was The Turkey's Alive.
Yeah.
And it was talking about the panic that induced. It's like, everybody's running and everybody's screaming because the turkey's alive. The turkey's alive. Ha, 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 ha. The turkey's alive.
I only did
Turkey
one
is
segment.
a mighty beast. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't not take it seriously. If you got a live turkey
It'd be a
running
problem.
around
Yeah.
your house, it would cause some destruction.
I only did one segment that really got me in trouble.
Oh, really?
And, you helped with it. Actually.
Oh, did I? Wow.
I did the TC and Dougie dating service.
Oh, yeah.
And so Glenn was the soothing voice. It was like the TC and Dougie dating service where people go to date. And I had these 2 people, a guy and a girl, describing this date that they went on. And the guy was describing it like it was amazing, and the girl was telling it as it was because it was kind of horrific. And he was like, "I took her to dinner and a show. She was in awe." And then she comes on, it's like, "He called it a show, but it was just a homeless guy tap dancing for change." And then TC, who was the program director, pulled me aside and he's like, "You can't talk about the homeless like that." And I'm like, "Tim, how the fuck are they going to call?"
Oh, this is already off the rails, and I love it. This is already off the rails, and I love it. And now, what have you guys have for questions for Big?
I don't know what I feel about the
all of this?
It doesn't. Well, it doesn't seem like it's like is a who gets mad about that? I don't.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think I have the frame of reference necessary to understand. Like,
I think the main problem might have been that it is, in fact, an oldies format. And
Yeah.
that sort of a thing would fly more like with the top 40 or something, where like the younger people don't give a fuck about the homeless people in comparison, perhaps.
That
like,
was
I mean,
always.
have people not been to like New Orleans ever? Like,
Probably not if they're from Spokane.
Yeah, I haven't
guess,
been to New
but I mean,
Orleans.
doesn't Seattle have that sort of thing? Like, that's
Oh,
a
yeah.
legit money making venture. Is
Dude,
like
they-
asking for change.
In Seattle, they have their own paper.
In New
Oh,
York,
yeah.
you have to have a license.
Yeah, like they have their own newspaper. Like
Yeah.
the homeless people have their own newspaper in
In
Seattle.
Portland, they do too, because I think one time my buddy Adam and I, we were waiting in line at Voodoo Donuts, and I think each of us bought 2 copies just because we felt bad.
See, there you go. And like,
So
so,
the
that was.
proceeds like go to help the homeless is what you're saying.
I believe
I
that's
hope.
the idea. One would hope. Yeah.
Yeah.
One would think that
mean-
they somehow pay their people for like the work that they do.
I don't
instead
know.
of-
I kind of hope there's some Scrooge McDuck guy just counting change,
man.
swimming in it.
You know that if it
The
my
sensibilities
friend.
of Morning Zoo.
Doesn't it feel more like like you bring Big Will into anything and it is more Morning Zoo like just automatically.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
It's like I'm not a product of my environment. My environment very quickly becomes a product of me, and I don't know if that's good.
I think that means you're a thought leader.
Could be.
Could easily
That sounds
be.
like a good thing. I'd
Or
like
that
to
I've
be
seen
that.
The Departed too many times,
That
and like
sounds-
to quote Jack Nicholson.
And there you
man.
have it. Another thing that you are doing this evening. So by the time people hear this, it will be too late to go to this.
Yeah.
But you are doing the drink and debate. Now, I was a judge for the first drink and debate, and I don't believe I've been back since then, at least as a judge. So I must not have done a very good job.
They like to rotate them around a lot because part of having the judges is to streamline the show, and part of it is hoping to glom onto any celebrity that they have to get people to come to the show.
Certainly. Okay, and if you could go ahead and tell the listenership here what the concept of drink and debate is, and how long it's been going now. At this point, it's at least a couple years.
Yeah, it's been going for a while because we started doing it in this tiny deli.
Sure.
And then Nick Cavassier was like, we should bring this to the Spokane Comedy Club and, I don't know, get paid for it.
And for what it's worth, the Spokane Comedy Club is a legit comedy club here in town where they bring pretty big names, and they are very good about making sure that if anyone heckles the show, they're out.
Yeah. So basically, it's teams of people who you put together a team and you're given topics to debate, and the group of judges decide who advances, and it's basically based on who's funniest and who debated the topic best. And the topics are ridiculous.
One of my favorites, and I believe it was when I was a judge, that it was should they make a real Jurassic Park?
Yeah, or should we have a wall on the Canadian border?
Yeah. And they give them, 5 minutes to end up coming up with their arguments pro or against. They get assigned where you are pro, you are con to this, and they have to come up with their material for debating one another in 5 minutes.
Yeah, like one of the ones that was probably the most difficult for me was there was a topic, who would make a better president, Kanye West or The Rock? And I'm a huge pro wrestling fan, and I had to debate why The Rock would suck as a president.
Oh, that is
Well,
rough.
he's
That's
not the best in the ring to be,
No.
So it
basically
makes
what
sense.
basically what I did is from memory recited some of the most dastardly heel shit that he ever did.
He's
And I won the
amazing.
round.
He's like the best
Nice.
performer they've ever had, but his ring work C plus.
Yeah.
See, and
It's
there you,
definitely not, Kenny Omega.
I love
Kazuchika
The
Okada.
Rock, but it's not about his ring work.
No.
Anyway,
so you've been a comedian for this. You've been on the other side of it, but tonight you're judging. You're one of the judges.
Yeah, like I sort of accidentally created the job of head judge. And
How
then because I just did it. Like I think it was the show you were on where I was just like, well, Glenn likes to talk. I don't even remember who the other person was with us. That's how little they like to talk.
Sure.
So I'm like, I'll just kind of, steer the ship. And then one time I was going to compete, and they're like, well, we'll have Harry be head judge.
Oh, man.
And Harry J. Riley's
One of the funniest motherfuckers on the planet.
twice as funny as I am, and that's insulting him. And From there, he just does it, and so he's actually competing in the show tonight.
I will say, when I was a judge, what I would end up doing is disagreeing with the first judge no matter what, even whether or not I agreed with it, because then it creates a little more drama.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if the first two judges pick the same team, then it's already over.
Yeah, like
especially like if that first judge is like eminently sensible.
Yeah.
Oh,
So you have like a pro
That's when you get to have the
approach
real
to debate.
shenanigans.
It's pretty.
Yeah, usually I try to take the heel approach or the sort of Simon Cowell approach and just kind of like, just try to talk some shit and have a little fun. And then Harry was like, oh, we could talk shit as judge?
That's perfect. And you produced his first album. I produced his second album.
Yeah.
Too. So the two people who have produced a Harry J. Riley comedy album are both here in this room.
Yeah. Weirdly enough, the second one sounds a lot better than the first.
Oh. Well, I had the two sources. I think that may have been part of it, is that I had the audio. The whole reason that I ended up producing Harry's second album is he put it out on Facebook. Is there anyone who can take the crowd microphone audio and the soundboard audio and put them together? And I basically raised my digital hand and said, yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, I had a source rolling for the crowd, but it was a shitty Zoom 2. So the crowd is kind of there and not at the same time.
Makes sense. Yeah, absolutely. That is fantastic. Do you have any other projects going on at this point based on the fact that The Hustle's done everything?
I produce and am basically a host on the Never Ending Random Discussion.
Oh,
on,
yeah.
Pants Pending Studios.
Pants Pending. So you're still working with Andrew Dresden and,
Yeah, I'm still-
Pants Pending. Okay.
Yeah, I'm still doing stuff there, and otherwise just kind of drifting between stand-up gigs and trying to figure out what's next.
Sure. And it's, and there's nothing wrong with those in-between times when you're figuring that out.
Yeah.
Because that's sometimes how you lead to what the best ideas are.
Yeah.
We've certainly both been there a number of times.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just remembering this off the top of my head right now. Isn't there some sort of a video clip that you made where you used Grammar Club's music?
I think a Grammar Club song ended up in it was either a Grammar Club song or a Beefy song ended up in A Guy Like Me.
I think it was A Guy Like Me. And it was like music that's playing, like there's people standing outside of a club.
Yeah.
And there's music that you can barely hear, just like the background, like, the club's, playing music. And that was like, I think Balloon Flight or...
Yeah, it was something from the first album.
Yeah,
because that's back when I was making it.
Yeah.
And then another song, this character named Andy is standing in a bathroom drunk, yelling at a mirror, thinking it was somebody talking shit to him. And so it was dulled then too, because I remember I emailed Glenn, and I think Glenn emailed everybody else, and they're just like, yeah, just don't alter the song or take out the lyrics, didn't want me
You
to...
got permission, in other words.
Yeah, I got permission, but they didn't want, the big thing was, don't just use the beat. You got to use everything. And I'm like, I fucking love this song. I'm not going to take out anything.
So he is a fan, for what it's worth. Mr. Will Gilman
man,
here.
was that like my
Club?
concern?
That was
sounds
actually
like-
Shale.
That sounds like a chill thing.
I didn't want to be like,
I don't know
fucking
why I would've
Shale
had that
said this.
concern.
But
That sounds
I was
like a Shale thing.
I was like 24 years old or something.
yeah.
That was why do I have these fears? All right.
So I'll open it up for questions or comments again here, so I'm not just talking the whole time. What do you guys got for Big Will?
Well, if you will record a fake commercial, I'll put it on our fake radio station.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, and I have a whole bunch of them from back in the day that we did as
Yeah?
well. One of them was with Selfie Dad.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
just,
Selfie
we're just
Dad.
putting fake commercials on our radio station now. We have an online radio station where we just stream just Grammar Club music, and we got hundreds of tracks on it, and now we're just putting fake commercials on it for fun.
That's beautiful. No, Selfie Dad and I did a radio spot for the National Association of Trophy Husbands because our wives were making more money than us because we were making minimum wage as radio station board ops. And
yeah.
I said that you could send a self-addressed stamped envelope, and I put the radio station's real address
Oh gosh.
as the place to send. Send a postcard to. I want to be a trophy husband too. 16.
I'm sure they appreciated that.
I don't think anyone ever sent them a postcard. Sadly, that would have been the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, because there were a couple times I was running best ofs during TC and Dougie that I went and found that and played it just for funsies.
Oh, nice. Wasn't there something where you played something for him that I made where I included a curse word and he freaked the fuck out?
Yeah, we would do, it was total fucking morning zoo, so we did these bumpers at the end of every segment. It's like, the TC and Dougie show, and then some movie or TV quote on Oldies 101.
That's right.
And so Glenn made one, and he sent it to me, and it was the TC and Dougie show. And then it's Dave Chappelle screaming, I live in a fucking trash can!
On Oldies 101.
So I took my laptop into the program director's office, and I'm like, I made a few more of these donut bumpers on a total setup. So I played two that were just hastily thrown together and sucked. I don't even remember what they were. And I'm like, I know those first two were kind of bad. Let me play this third one. And then I played this one that Glenn made. And I mean, you could fit a tree in his mouth. His jaw had dropped so much. And he's like, that's not on the system, is it? You didn't put that in the rotator, did you?
Because you could have played automatically.
Yeah, could have accidentally played on the air. And, only cost the station about $500,000. No big deal. And I'm like, Tim, normally when I play stuff for you that I put in the system, we play it from the system, right? He says, yeah. Why do I have my laptop in here? It's like, fuck you, Will. It's one of many times I got fired.
He's still my boss, actually. I work with TC even now. TC ended up getting let go too.
Yeah.
So he's with KXLY now, as am I. That's where I still work on the weekends and do radio uploads and stuff. He's a good dude.
No, he's a great dude. I had not, everybody there. I've got nothing but nice. There may be one or two salespeople.
Oh yeah, well that's salespeople.
I remember once I was doing a remote for the country station, and they sent me out to a car lot. Mm-hmm. And of course, every car.
Juder Stevens. We got 6
Juder
million
Stevens.
trucks.
Yeah. We have a song called "Buy This Truck."
Oh, okay.
And it's.
And then Juder Stevens, he's become a character that recurs. He's in several songs now. I think Juder Stevenson.
Oh, Juder.
Yeah, so every car salesman, of course, has seen the Blues Brothers, so they're coming up to me and they're like, oh, do you guys play both kinds of music, country and Western? I'm just like, you dipshit, I've seen that movie too. So they send me out with no prizes, 3 breaks an hour during the American Country Countdown. And there's no suspense to me with the American Country Countdown because I'm the one who uploaded it.
Oh, yeah, you know.
And so I'm out there, and I remember distinctly, I'm just walking through the cars trying to think of shit to say to try to bring people here, and I know nobody's fucking coming.
Sure.
So I'm like, they've got a plethora of amazing cars here. And my phone rings about a minute after I get off the air, and it's a sales guy screaming, what the fuck are you doing? Don't you know these people are stupid? Why are you saying a plethora of cars?
Hey, they've probably seen the Three Amigos.
They have an El Guapo of plethoras.
Yeah.
A plethora of piñatas?
So I literally just screamed back at him. I'm like, hey, fuck you. You sitting me out here with no prizes doing 3 breaks an hour.
No, you should have
minimum
replied,
wage.
Like, when somebody's like, what are you talking about, a plethora? You should just always be like, thanks, man. That means a lot.
So there's a viral picture of Big Will out there, but you wouldn't see his face in it. And it's gone viral outside of Spokane, but it happened in Spokane. I think I've seen it outside of Spokane, where there's this gentleman who is wearing no shirt in the middle of winter, with a luchador mask on, and holding a sign that says, "I make questionable life decisions." So if you've seen that, spoiler alert, that is my buddy here. That's Big Will. Can you tell them how that happened?
Yeah, because fuck you, Glenn.
Yes, exactly.
So our buddy Travis does Trav Versus now on Twitch. Is it twitch.tv/Trav Versus?
That's very nice of you to say. And yes, that is every Thursday.
I remembered.
Most Thursdays.
And for a while, it was just a YouTube show, and he probably went a year without finishing an episode. So we used to give him shit about it on the hustle all the time. So finally I decided to put my proverbial money where my mouth is, and I made a bet. And the bet was, if Glenn finished an episode by the end of the year, if he did, he would win. If he didn't, I would win. And the loser would have to stand in the middle of Riverfront Park in downtown Spokane with no shirt on, wearing a luchador mask, holding a sign saying, I make questionable life decisions.
And you lost that bet because we finished an episode.
Yeah. 2 weeks later, I'm suddenly seeing a new episode, and I'm hearing new voiceovers from Glenn, who I was counting on. I didn't give him the office or, count on hey, don't finish this. I really want to fuck Travis over, because I felt like that wouldn't be fair.
Sure. That was beautiful. What are some of the other segments? Like, people can probably still listen to The Hustle, even though you're not making new episodes. You guys probably did well over 100 episodes.
Yeah.
Do you know how many you did?
I was like 154, I think is the total.
Wow.
So there's still plenty that could be heard, and there's some of it that's time specific based on the news stories that you would
Yeah.
do. But a lot of it isn't. A lot of it is evergreen. What are some of the other things besides Will's Racist Corner, which came and went, and I think came back?
It came back, but it mostly came back just to annoy Adam because he hated it.
Sure.
But we would do this thing called the Punk Ass Bitch Hall of Fame.
Yeah, what was that?
It was basically the tagline was nominate the things you hate. And
Sure.
so we would induct people and
It
concepts.
wasn't
into
just people. It would be concepts sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, what are some of the things that you remember offhand that made it to the Punk Ass Bitch Hall of Fame?
Let's see. I think all three of us wound up in it at some point or another. Usually when one of us wasn't on the show to oppose it. I think Trump wound up in it.
Of course.
There were some athletes. There was random people inside a park that Andrew didn't like that we wound up going along with. Travis nominated a bitchy lady from Ione, Washington, and we're just like, yeah, she sounds like kind of a bitch. Let's go ahead and put her in. And I think when Harry was on, we put trees in just so that he would do his trees joke.
What is it? What was his trees joke?
Tree is and this is going to be a horrible impression. He's like, trees, man. I hate trees. Fuck trees. Always getting in the way of drunk people trying to get home.
There you go. So trees in the Punk Ass Bitch Hall of Fame. So what were some of the other segments?
Let's see. We would do the news every week, but never like the serious news, because
It'd be all the weird shit.
Yeah, because we always had the policy of you don't go to CNN for dick jokes, so don't come to the Hustle for hard news.
Yeah.
There was.
I know you guys did like taste test style stuff, like from Japan sometimes.
Yeah, we would play Guess That Meat, and Adam always found new weird places to find meat products from, and all sorts of things like that. We would do. There was back when 50 Shades of Grey was a big thing when that book came out. They were having a bunch of people read from it. And I decided instead that it would be better to get amateur sex stories off of Literotica and have us read those.
Oh, that's right. With the background music and everything. Too.
Yeah. And I think Harry was on that episode because he got about a page in and he's like, wait a minute, am I a girl in this story? No!
That sounds like Harry. That's for sure. So you'd have a rotating cast of guests that would come in as well, too.
Yeah, we would do the three of us, and then we'd bring in guests that we all liked.
I probably showed up maybe somewhere between 10 and 15 times.
Yeah, you were kind of our Steve Martin in a way.
Yep.
Just kind of always showing up, sometimes unannounced.
Yeah.
Sometimes I would just randomly call people. There's one episode that there was a New Year's episode where we called like 15 people and it was 4 hours long, and by the end of it, Adam and I could barely talk.
Oh, wow.
And there was one episode where both Adam and Travis were missing, so I spent the first 45 minutes just calling random people and seeing if they were home and wanted to talk on a podcast.
Nice. If offhand, what is one of your least favorite and most favorite moments from that podcast?
Let's see. One of my least favorite is we had a show where we had a sort of local comedian, like she very, very rarely does stuff.
Sure.
And a friend of Adam's, and it was just rough and pulling teeth. Neither one of them would really talk.
Got it.
So I quote unquote lost the episode.
Ah.
I lied and told them I had data trouble and that the card didn't read it or whatever.
See, now you had data trouble with me with the filming of the footage of So Be Yourself, but I believe that.
That one, yeah, that one's legit. That one's legit. The other one
Was not.
No, the other one I was just like, I sent a text to Adam and I'm like, I don't want to release this, and he said I don't want to either. And
It
I'm
was
like,
just that bad. Yeah.
I'm gonna lie and say we had data troubles. I've seen people do that.
We've had some rough episodes of Traverses that I've almost not wanted to release as well.
Yeah.
So I feel you on that. That's something that can happen where you think that a person's going to be a great guest and then they're not.
Yeah, and I don't know if I can pick an absolute favorite moment.
Well, just something that springs to mind. You know, doesn't have to be the best, but something that
I
springs to
think
mind.
I think us doing the road trip anytime that we went and grabbed the mobile recorder and went out.
Yeah.
Like Adam and I happened upon an amusement park and
Oh yeah, I remember that.
and I had the mobile recorder with me and I'm like, do you want to just record some stupid shit around here? And at one point we both decided to play Spock in Star Trek 2 in a hall of mirrors. Adam went on the honey bucket ride and we pretended like I was shaking it. We ran into a couple of friends, so we had them play like they were staff there at the amusement park, kicking us out because we were staying too late.
Sure.
Just
Stupid shit, but
yeah,
like fun.
any kind of fun silliness that we could come up with was always the best.
Absolutely. And did you had sponsorships at some points on the show as well? I think, like Amazon, if nothing else.
Yeah, we did we jumped on the every podcast has an Amazon link thing, and every podcast is sponsored by Audible thing, and that type of stuff. And
Sure. Was there anyone who actually ended up coming through and saying, "Yeah, we want to sponsor this because we like your show"?
There've been a couple. Like we've probably made $50 on this show.
Damn.
And
go.
that's not counting what Pants Pending makes on their Patreon. 'cause
Oh yeah, I'm one of the Patreons for that. Yeah.
yeah, like
I think I give $2 a month.
I have access to the Patreon, but I'm just like, I don't want to know.
Exactly.
I just go to the Patreon to upload stuff when Andrew's like, I'm having trouble uploading this. Can you try?
Yep. I ended up having access to that for months after I was no longer working with Pants Pending, and then he finally ended up changing the password and all that.
Oh
which
shit!
is-
Then maybe I don't have access.
You
to
may
it,
not.
because I haven't.
You may not.
I
Yeah.
haven't looked at it in forever.
I had a podcast for a short period of time with Pants Pending as well called Case Note Point. It was about 15
was on
episodes. Yeah, you were. Yeah, that's actually how we started talking again, and that partially led to this. So, any other questions, guys? Or
What's your
anything?
favorite Castlevania game?
What's that? Favorite Castlevania game?
Probably the Castlevania 3, because that's the one I played the most. I don't really. I
That's a good
I
one.
think that's it.
Who's your
That's
favorite?
a good one.
Who's your favorite wrestlers?
Favorite wrestlers. I'm such a snob right now. Like last night was a big New Japan show, so right now I'm huge into New Japan Pro Wrestling. I'm wearing a
There's nothing
Cody
wrong with
Rhodes
that.
T-shirt right now. So anybody affiliated there. Huge into Kevin Owens, even though they're not really
Yes.
doing much with him. A lot
I
of
agree
those.
with everything you're saying right now.
Yeah, I figured you and Shale would actually have something in common with this.
Yeah, a lot of my favorite WWE guys are the guys that I knew from like Ring of Honor or PWG, that kind of thing that came up. So it's like, I really like Kevin Steen, and now he's Kevin Owens. I like him too.
What's your favorite Jason movie?
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
man.
fuck! I don't know if I've actually seen. I guess Freddy vs. Jason is the only one I've seen, so I'm gonna go with that.
Oh, well, okay.
Which to me, that movie should have been better because the idea behind the plot line was really good. You know, it's like Freddy's trying to get people to have nightmares about him, so he sends Jason to terrorize the town.
Yeah, it was okay.
And then Freddy got
was
pissed that
alright.
Jason was getting all the credit. I'm like, that's kind of an
that's what
inventive way to
happened.
get him to fight, but the movie was kind of
Yeah, this group
was,
plays the Steam. Well, it's on Steam, but the Friday the 13th multiplayer game that is
Oh,
out
okay.
there, and
It's the best game. It's just the best.
And,
We're gonna play it right after the show.
there you go. And Shale is got into the films after that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's true. That's what got me into the films. So I just watched all of them like last year.
And Will is
Or, no,
definitely a big
yeah.
film guy too. That's
Yeah.
another thing that you definitely love a lot of film.
definitely, yeah.
What's your favorite movie?
Favorite movie, Annie Hall.
No, never seen it. Wait, that's that
Woody Allen.
Woody Allen?
Yeah.
Yeah, Woody Allen. Okay.
Yeah,
I
Woody
know of
Allen's.
it.
Woody
Love
Allen's
it.
like first movie where he wasn't really just going for jokes. There's a lot of great jokes in it, but it's the first one where they're like, oh shit, this guy has something to say. He's not just cracking wise. So that one's always been one of my favorites.
And Christopher Titus is a favorite also for you, yes?
Yeah, I sort of stole a thing from Glenn because I know for a while you were carrying around a couple of ticket stubs from concerts that you went to.
Sure.
And so the first time I got to see Christopher Titus, I still carry that ticket stub in my wallet everywhere. Because I'm
Nice.
just like, holy shit, I finally got to see him. And then I saw him again recently, and I think the girl I went with kept the ticket stub, and I wasn't going to argue with her because she bought the tickets.
There you go. For those who don't know, he is a stand-up comedian, and he had a show called Titus for a while. One of the inspirations behind a guy like me, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, definitely sort of form-wise. I stole the neutral space device completely from him there.
So, Sean, what have you got for Will?
If you had to fight, would you rather fight 100 horse-sized ducks or 100 horse-sized horses?
You know what? I say go 50-50. I got a metal elbow. I'm sure I
No,
can.
you can't do that.
I can't
You
do
gotta
that?
Pick one.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
it's
I
either
got-
real horses.
Real horses
Or
or
ducks the size of horses.
Ducks the size of horses. Okay. Where are do I get to pick where we fight? Or is it
Yes.
just okay. So so I'm gonna pick a land fight with the horse-sized ducks. If nothing else, it's gonna be cute watching me punch all these ducks.
Ducks are fearsome, man.
Yeah.
A water battle with 100 horses, you'd stand a better chance.
Yeah. One of my favorite hustle segments is I ask the guys what's the most dangerous animal they feel like they could kick to death, and everybody was surprised. Everybody was
most
surprised with me
dangerous
when
one?
I said a hippopotamus, because I
You
completely
think
believe
you
I.
could kick hippopotamus.
You
to
could
death?
kick hippopotamus kill more people every year than just about any other animal.
You know, people say that, but you know what? I throw a mean kick. I feel like I could sneak up on the sumbitch, you know, and like by the time he realizes I'm there, he's been kicked most of the way to death.
Yeah.
And then he he can charge me, and I'm pretty sure I can outrun a hippopotamus for like a groggy, concussed hippopotamus, I should say.
Yeah, that's a good thing to specify.
Yeah.
You have to open with the stunner, or else it's all going south fast.
Oh yeah, no. The first move is like me sneaking up on him, setting up a ladder, and dropping a big elbow right on his head. But after that, it's just some super kicks, and I'm weirdly confident.
There you go. Ty, do you have any questions?
Random thoughts.
Just random thoughts?
Yeah, random
Oh,
thoughts.
random thoughts. I almost
Is that
set-
what you have or what you want?
No, Matt, you have any random thoughts, man?
I randomly almost set my house on fire today.
What? That sounds like a story.
Okay.
So I'm a filthy smoker. I don't know if you can tell by my voice. I've tried to only cough off mic. And so I went out for my wake up smoke, and I put it in my bucket of butts. That'd be a great album title.
Bucket of butts?
Bucket of
Bucket of
butts.
butts.
That seems like a Sir Mix-a-Lot album, I'm just saying.
Probably. And so I was, starting to get ready to head here, and I came out, and the entire bucket and everything around it was on fire.
Oh, shit.
I'm like, I'm really glad I was starting to have a nicotine fit. Otherwise, who knows? So, like, when my landlord called before the show started, I was
yeah.
like, oh, shit. What happened? And he
Did
just,
it reignite?
Yeah, and he just wants me to mow the lawn. He's just mad. I haven't mowed the lawn in like 3 weeks.
Yeah, it might be time. I probably need to do the same.
Yeah, and so I was like, oh shit, I don't live with Adam anymore. I don't have a fire extinguisher. I'm not as well prepared as he is. So I was just taking, I emptied out my ice machine onto it, and I was just taking, pictures and pictures of water and pouring it all over the place. And so I'm pretty sure it's out. Like,
Oh, you hope.
I coded that. Like, I took 2 ciders that I've had in my fridge for like a year that I know I'm never going to drink, and open those up, partly because it was an excuse to finally open them, and partly so that the fire would smell less like melted plastic.
Always a plus.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, now it smells like melted plastic and raspberries.
There you have it. And you are a gamer of sorts as well, too. There are some are you playing any video games recently?
I've been playing a bit of WWE 2K18.
Nice.
Like I
On which system?
PS4.
Nice.
Yeah, my dad left me his PS4, and so I've been playing that, and I got the Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, but I'm a pussy, so I can only play those for just a little while before I start getting dizzy and queasy.
Sure. Yeah, no, that can be tough to, with those perspectives.
And those Borderland games are hard, and
Yeah.
I'm playing them on easy. So I don't know if it's that they're hard or if that I'm really bad.
Well, and of course you're using a control at that point too, versus
Yeah.
mouse and keyboard. Some
Well,
people
that's the real
prefer-
problem. You're using the wrong controller.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
If you do mouse and keyboard with it, you might actually enjoy it more.
Okay.
Which I don't know if that's a possibility
No.
on PS4.
I think you gotta hack it to do
I
that.
don't know. Not to be like a snob about it, but those games are just a lot better, I think, with a mouse and keyboard. I just don't have fun playing FPSs with a controller.
Unless it's
myself
Halo.
because of the control.
Or not
No.
Halo 2.
No,
Even then.
I include Halo in that.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't game as much as I'd like, partially because of time. Like I see, like Glenn has a Switch down here, and I'm like, should I buy the Switch?
They're pretty cool. The new Zelda game is
You
one of
should.
the greatest things.
The
they've
answer
ever-
is yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the new Zelda game is one of the greatest things I've ever played.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's really
Man, we got my son a Switch for his birthday, and he didn't. He when he was picking out games and stuff, he didn't pick out the Zelda game, and I was a little disappointed. Not necessarily in him
As a father?
person, but yeah, I failed a little.
I failed
And
a
also,
bit as
I
a
don't get to
dad.
play the new Zelda game.
Yeah. I was recently, I haven't done anything with them yet, but I've been gifted the cardboard things, the Labo or whatever
Oh,
they're
neat.
called.
The Labo?
I have not assembled them yet. I barely
Oh,
know what
man.
the whole thing is yet. So I'm
Yeah, those
deciding
things are
what
stunning.
I'm deciding what to do. Should I end up like filming that? Is that like a segment thing that we could give to our patrons? It's like, I don't know anything about those, so here's I'm going to assemble this.
Sure,
on
why not?
camera.
I mean, when in doubt, sure.
Yep.
Film it.
There it is.
When in doubt, record.
Maybe if it's for somebody, maybe they'll find it. If
Yes.
not, oh well.
Pretty much. That's almost the thing that you've got to take as a musician, realizing that you're competing against the history of recorded music. So,
Yeah.
At that point,
Yeah, if you look at it as a competition, there's no winning.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Nope.
it's
Nope. It's all drowning.
It becomes why
Yeah.
people would think why bother, but where we think why not.
Yeah, like any time, like last time I went to see Christopher Titus, I turned to the girl that I went with and I'm like, how dare I call myself a comedian? And she was like, shut the fuck up, you're funny. I'm like, all right,
Stupid.
I guess that's why we're dating.
Except that one time.
Yeah.
And actually, what's funny is I looked at
So-
him and he knew which
That one
time I
time
met
No
him.
Oh,
true
yeah.
Scotsman fallacy. It's the no true Scotsman fallacy. Whenever you start, why can't I call myself X, Y, and Z? Others have done it better.
Yeah.
There's no reasonable litmus test for calling oneself a writer or anything. Any present tense verb.
Yeah.
That's
What-
not the
what was
noun
your-
form of a verb? Listen, language. I gotta go.
What was your worst show? Well, and is it the one that I think it is?
That's one of them. It was like I was just starting to get into the idea of doing stand up, and Glenn was like, you should tell jokes between bands at a song fight live. And I'm like, okay.
We hosted Song Fight Live here in Spokane. Once a year, the Song Fighters have a live show, and different cities are picked. And Rachel and I hosted it in Spokane one year. And I thought, hey, it would be funny to have my friend Will, who is funny, tell stand-up jokes in between the artists.
Yeah, and I really didn't know what I was doing yet, hardly. And so I went up and bombed 3 times, and
It was sad, but like I imagine a learning experience.
definitely, yeah. It's like I did a gig for Tommy G.
Oh wow,
He did,
local musician.
yeah, local musician. It was Tommy G's Holiday Haze and Chronic Christmas.
See, well there you go.
So there's a bunch of people there to smoke weed and listen to music. So of course, let's bring a fat comedian in. And the first set, I just did, my what would be my normal 10-minute set, and they couldn't give a fuck. That's being generous.
Did you tell the joke?
Yeah, that's that. Yeah, I opened with that. So I'm like, if anything's gonna get them with me, it's gonna be this one.
Yep.
Nope. All right. So
You might as well tell the joke so they know.
Oh,
like,
okay. Oh, yeah. This is a patron only thing, so
Yep.
they're paying for this. So I recently decided to weigh myself, and I don't know why. It's like I own a mirror. I know the news isn't going to be good, but my roommate got one of them new electronic scales, so I figured why not, right? So I stepped on it, and it turns out I weigh
There you you go.
And that's usually the reaction, but not at Chronic Christmas. So the second set, I decided to be a pandering little bitch, and I did all my drug humor, and that went over like a lead balloon.
I was gonna say know your crowd, but
Yeah.
at that point, and that's not hitting.
No.
Ooh.
So the third time, I still had to do a third set, and everybody's trying to get me stoned because everybody in all the bands loved me. It was just the crowd that was there to see music couldn't give a fuck about a guy telling jokes.
Yeah.
But everybody in the
Yeah.
band was like, "You deserve better than what they're giving you."
Yeah, that's what I felt with Song Fight too. Like it was a stumble, but like it worked out for the.
Yeah.
It,
So the third time I went up, and I was kind of going through my phone and iPad, looking at some of my old jokes, and I'm like, I haven't told these 4 jokes in about a year. Let me go up and see if I remember the words. Kind of like I'm assuming as musicians, sometimes during a show,
hey, let's
you're
pull
like,
out a song I haven't played
Yeah,
in forever. Yeah,
I haven't played this
Yes.
song in a while. Let me see if I
Yes.
remember it. So that was
It's
kind
almost
of
as bad as forgetting the chords.
yeah. So I went up there and I did all 4 of those jokes. I performed them well. The audience still didn't give a fuck, but at least I accomplished something more than getting a check and free pizza.
See, there you go. And let's go on a more on a happier note about maybe one of your better shows that you actually remember.
Oh, there was I did let me think.
There's been a few of them.
Oh yeah, there've been a
This is not like because like I haven't had a good show.
no,
This is,
no, not like that at all. We did a Spokane's Funniest People
Oh, yeah.
competition. I think you were there for this show.
I think I was. Yeah.
And I went up and I was having a crisis of confidence, as I often do. And I went up third, which I thought, oh shit, there's no way I'm making it to the next round. And basically finished second in points to the person who went on last. So
That's not bad at all.
no, I was not complaining.
Was
That
it Tom?
No, Tom was.
Tom
that was-
won.
Tom won the whole thing.
Tom Meisford was
Yeah.
a local comedian, and then he won, and then he moved to Chicago.
Yeah, and I don't know how he's doing career-wise there, but he seems happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Anytime that I've gotten to travel for a gig, like when I headlined the Mill Casino on the Oregon coast.
Oh wow.
And I got the gig. The gig was on a Wednesday, and I got it the Thursday before.
Sure.
So I wound up losing money on it.
That happens. Yeah. That
but
definitely happens.
But it was still a lot of fun, like going down, road tripping, meeting a bunch of new friends, pushing myself to do 2 45-minute sets,
Nice.
Staying in a decent casino hotel and eating free casino food. Like,
Yeah, you can't beat that. That's
no,
good.
nothing to complain about there.
And now
No, free buffet.
what I'm now curious about that I've also not mentioned that you did at one point while you were doing the Blue Door Theater stuff also was the Rube Goldberg device. And that is the name of
That was the name of it, yeah.
That was a very short, like it didn't seem like it lasted long, but you guys were doing sketch comedy where you filmed segments.
Yeah, we would. I was very much pushing us to do both film and stage, so
Sure.
that as we were changing out stuff from one sketch to another, there would be something up on screen, so that the audience just didn't get listless and bored.
Sure.
And
I thought it was a nice, thing. How long did that last?
It lasted a little over a year.
Sure.
I know what Glenn's favorite sketch we
Oh,
did
by
was.
far, because I still, like Tom Meisford, who I was talking about, who moved to Chicago, to this day, anytime that I see him, I tend to say, all right, which is one of the things he said in there's a zombie at the door, and he's asking the questions, almost like the Mr. Jaws Saturday Night Live thing, where, Jaws is at the door, and it's like, I don't know if I want to let him in. It's along those lines of fast zombies or slow zombies.
Yeah.
Slow zombies. Like deciding whether or not that he's going to let him in, depending on the answers that the zombies were giving.
And another one of the video sketches that Glenn loves to never let me live down also involves me partially nude.
Oh God, I forgot about it though. Now I know what you're talking about.
I'd been pitching this sketch for a while, and it's called Will's Hat Dance. And basically, it's our buddy Tom, and he's like, "Hey, sorry guys, the show's about 5 minutes short, so we finally decided to let Will do a sketch he wrote. We don't know what it is, but it's called Will's Hat Dance." And he ducks out of the way, and I'm standing there wearing nothing but a sombrero covering my dick. And and it's to be generous, I don't look that good with only a sombrero covering my. I don't look good fully clothed, I do all right.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, it's like I'm big, but I'm beautiful. I'm a BBM, baby.
I also loved what you guys did with the pizza sketch, where instead of ordering the pizza with anchovies, it's the pizza with Bon Jovis.
Yeah, so the guy opens a pizza box and I insert
Bad medicine, I believe.
Oh, no, bad medicine is what it was playing as he was throwing it away.
That's right. Yep.
When he opened the pizza box, it
starts
was
playing Bon Jovi.
Yeah, the "You Give Love a Bad Name."
Yeah,
He's
pizza with
like-
Bon Jovis, and it's like you eventually get to like it.
He's like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this. Everybody says that at first.
Pizza with Bon
All right,
Jovis.
Will, I have a question for you.
Oh, please.
Yes, sir.
You're an improviser. You're a screenwriter. What if Netflix approached you and they said, Will, we need you to conceptualize of 4 sitcoms in a shared universe? The Marvel superhero thing has been huge. The shared universe continuity is what people want. And we want a sitcom universe. We want you to pitch us 4 sitcoms that all exist in the same universe and affect each other in subtle ways. And you have to pitch us on those right now, or else we're going to give this to someone else.
Okay.
What do you do?
Well, I would talk slower while I was coming up with ideas, and I'd be like, "Oh, I've been thinking of that forever." So the first show, and you just use my powers of bullshit. You know, that's my mutant power. I think more than anything.
Hey, sometimes it works.
Most of the time it does. Shit, I should be homeless many times, but I'm not. Back one of the show would probably be about a homeless guy who lives near something.
Oh, now is this existing show?
No, you have to conceptualize of 4 sitcoms that all exist in the same universe.
Gotcha. So this isn't
None of
like
them. You have to
tying,
be
like,
completely original. You're not tying into anything. This is just your original property, starting from square one.
So this isn't Family Tie, or not Family Ties,
No,
but this isn't
you
like
are making
Die
up
Hard,
a sitcom universe.
Die Hard,
from
and
nothing.
Family Matters being in the same universe, for example.
This is the genesis of a setting and the genesis of 4 stories that all tie together in
mostly-
different Netflix shows.
Yeah.
I'm mostly buying Will some time. That's what I'm doing.
No.
I
I
understand
thought
that.
I thought of show number 3. Now I'm just thinking of 1, 2, and 4 because
Why 3? Why is it
because
3?
It's 3 because it helps tie the universe together, but without the first 2, it's not going to be as good.
Okay.
You know, kind of like how you needed Rosario Dawson to help Iron Fist be more of a thing, because Iron Fist, without that character there, you're just like, what the fuck is this?
Sure.
Yeah.
I think the first show is going to be about a couple who they're trying to decide if they're going to get a divorce.
Okay.
It's like they still live together.
I like it.
They're
I
still
like it.
married, but they're dating other people.
Oh, awkward. Yes.
While
This is
also still
potential.
being together. They don't necessarily want to be poly, but they're not sure if they want to be together or not. And just sort
more
of
the Pina Colada song, sort of.
in a way, yeah.
Do we have a title for this?
Do I have a title for this? Together Forever?
Question mark.
Yes.
With the question mark. Yeah.
And one of the places that they go on a date is going to be the setting for show number 2. It is going to be, I call this show The Last Cyber Cafe.
Okay.
And it's basically a coffee house and bar that has various different entertainment acts, poets, musicians, comedians, but their primary function is for people who don't have internet, and it's a neighborhood where somehow that works. And it's run by an eccentric old man who doesn't understand that people can have internet at home. And and I think episode 4 is his son trying to talk him out of sending all his money to a Nigerian scammer.
How's it connected
Please
to the
say
first
that.
show?
It's
Please,
connected
one
to
of the
it's connected.
shows is about Nigerians.
It's connected to
That'll be
the
a good
first
one.
show because it's in the same town as the first show, and a couple of the dates that they go on for the first show
Are with characters from this.
are
There
going
you
to
go.
be like the son is going to date the wife. The son from the second show will date the wife from the first show briefly, and a
clever.
couple of the dates will be in that cyber cafe. The third show is going to be called Need a Lift. and it's about a Lyft driver in that same town. And he'll occasionally give rides to the old man who's trying to understand what this Lyft thing is. And also to the husband of the first show on one of his dates when he gets really drunk and sleeps with a woman and kind of regrets it. But sort of the life and times of this Lyft driver who for the most part has ordinary passengers, but he dreams of so much more. Like
I'm seeing like a film noir treatment of this.
A little bit, yeah. Like he's narrating it, but he's not narrating it in a voiceover. He's narrating it as he's driving because he's trying to make his life more exciting.
Yes.
In the front seat.
The problem is like
is a stormy day.
I think you're already hired.
Ty, you can
by
play
the way.
this guy.
This is beautiful.
Well, hold on. We want to hear the
I
final one.
can't wait
before-
to see how it wraps up. Yeah,
before.
that's on board. But
Well, so the fourth show before we defenders this.
it's a guy like me.
Oh, see, I was trying to avoid a property I already have. The fourth show is going to be called Mikey for Mayor, and it's about this sort of regular guy who decides that he's never really been political, but he's just like, you know what, I could be mayor, and decides he wants to run for mayor of the city that all the three other shows take place in. He's not really sure how to do political fundraisers, so he holds keggers. They have a benefit night for his campaign in the Cryber Cafe because the old man believes that the two-party system is fucked. And he ultimately loses the election, but learns a lesson about life.
There it is.
And that is that you can't beat the system.
Bravo. God, that's beautiful.
That's it. Yeah, you're hired. That's it. Good job.
I
Now,
think
Glenn,
Yeah.
you write a song that summarizes the plot of these four
Oh
sitcoms.
my God.
We'll produce that song. We'll put it out.
Yeah,
Well,
there you
yeah,
go.
the fake.
And Will, you record four fake commercials, one for each of these shows.
Oh my God,
on our radio
yes.
station.
Well, I was going to record a fake commercial for you guys. When you gave me that idea, I've had this idea for a fake commercial for a service called Pift, which is
Yeah.
which is like Lyft, only it's PYFT, and instead of riding in a car, it's by piggyback. So it's like, sure, it's going to take you a lot longer to get to your destination, but just think of the friendships you'll make along the way.
That needs to happen. That is beautiful.
good.
And I think we're just about wrapped up. But one of the things that we seem to talk about on this show, and I don't know why, is we come back to food and especially snacks. We come
Food and poop knives.
Yeah,
Candy.
Candy
Poop
especially.
knives.
Poop knives. Yeah, poop knives on occasion as well. But like especially favorite chocolate bars or like candy style snacks here.
My favorite chocolate bar right now is probably the Reese Sticks.
Those are pretty legit.
Because it combines, Reese's peanut butter cups and Kit Kats.
Yes,
And if you say
yes,
it wrong, you
that's a good
sound like you're talking about some guy's penis.
It's like a high class nutty buddy.
Yeah,
One of
yeah,
those
like a-
things.
Are
those the
Debbie,
ones
those
that-
little Debbie nut bar nutter
I
butter.
almost
thing.
always
They
have a box of
Reese's
those.
Pieces inside. Is that the ones that they have? Like I've eaten them so fast I never looked at the wrapper. Is the problem?
It's like a Reese's.
I don't know what they're called.
It's a bar cookie with Reese's peanut butter on top.
Yeah, it's
Man, I just
yeah, no, it's tremendous. It is like the little
They're very
Debbie
good.
nutty bars. But,
isn't that like a peanut butter
better.
Twix though?
peanut butter Twix is a solid number 2, especially
Yeah,
since
this is more of
they.
the fast break is more of a wafer cookie.
Yeah,
See, poop jokes are a solid number 2.
well,
as far
depends
as my
on
favorites.
depends on how much
Womp womp.
aspirin you're taking. Because I was having a problem. I was too cheap to buy real pain medicine. I was just taking like 3 or 4 aspirin every morning to get my body working. And
Have you tried?
next thing
Have you tried the Hershey's Gold Bar?
I have not tried the Hershey's Gold Bar.
Oh yeah, that's that pretzels and what is it exactly?
Yeah.
Caramel and pretzels or something.
They call it a caramel cream, not a chocolate, but a caramel cream bar. I don't know. It's like white chocolate, but it tastes more like caramel than vanilla, and it's filled with broken up pretzel bits and peanut butter brittle bits, and it's It's addictive. Don't ever do it.
Okay.
Don't ever try
That's
it
pretty good.
because it's the best candy bar that's on the market.
That's
and
how
you're never gonna want anything else.
That's how I felt when I finally tried the double down when KFC was doing that. I was like, there's never been a time where I've been so happy to be killing myself.
Yeah, it's a thing you had to do at least once.
Yeah.
Now it's
Twice.
all about that Arby's triple stack.
Oh, see, I
Man.
haven't tried that because I've been worried. 'Cause, I'm a big guy now, but I used to be a bigger guy. Like I used to be above 450, and now I'm hovering around 360. So it's like, I'm trying. I'm not always succeeding, but I'm trying to make better choices.
I do intermittent fasting.
I do that. I do that sometimes too, but it usually has to do with when payday comes from the day job.
Same.
Yeah.
I do intermittent fasting in between breakfast and lunch, and then
Yes.
between lunch and dinner.
Sometimes you just don't have time for second breakfast.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, like
Fill up
when
the
I
corners.
when I wake up and it's like, oh shit, I didn't hear the alarm and I have to be to work in half an hour. I guess I'm not eating breakfast. I hope that happened to me my second day at this new job, and then they bought everybody fried chicken. So I'm like, oh holy shit,
No, that's a good day to forget to eat breakfast.
yeah.
Yeah.
When I wake up,
Da 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 da.
That's a great song.
It really is. I've played a number of cover gigs with this rotating band of people, and that one normally goes over very well when that.
We should
group
do
of
that,
people-
me and you.
Yeah, I would not be opposed. Yeah, it's good
All
stuff.
right, we'll do that one of these Wednesdays.
Absolutely.
I feel like that's one where you never have a crowd that doesn't sing along.
Oh yeah, the da 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 da's. Are you kidding me? Yeah, that's people are.
You got to do the accent though.
Yeah, helps.
It's like, well, yeah.
Yeah, if you sing that completely Americanized, like, when I wake up, well, I know I'm going to be the man who wakes up next to you.
I don't know.
Hey,
That could work.
That's exactly how we're gonna do it.
That is how we're going to do it, I think. Yeah.
Now that I've heard it happen,
I like it.
yeah, I didn't think I would. So I never tried it, but
I like it.
yeah, that you got your chocolate and my peanut butter there.
Hey.
What happened? Yeah.
Tasty combo. All right. So,
Glenn is
Now we're all
furiously
just thinking
typing
about
something.
this.
on
Yes,
the
I am. I'm coming up with the lyrics for the ending
Typing
song
the
here.
lyrics.
oh, good. Well, thank you for coming on, Will. It was a pleasure.
Hey, thank you guys. This is a lot of fun. It's nice to put real voices to musical voices and things that I've been hearing for years.
Thank you.
I'm just gonna buy Glenn some time here.
Oh yeah.
Shale, you can sing along.
Okay.
Actually, Shale, you can sing, and I won't, and then you'll have to line it up later. Okay, ready? You are a man who gets in fights with cars.
There you go.
Bizarre that you've survived thus far. Got the strength of crime, proving me wrong. Barbarian, you are. What is a man? Oh, it's supposed to be what is a car, isn't it? Okay, let's try it again.
Take two.
Unless Glenn's ready.
I'm very close.
Okay, that's is a car, but plastic, oil, and chrome. What is a man but muscle, hammer, and bone? Pedestrians?
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Pedestrians don't ever have a thing to fear when they see you walk on by. But cars are gonna die. It's a really high note to whistle, Shale. Nobody should have to whistle that note. Did you really whistle those? Okay, I think Glenn's got it now.
I think
we're
so.
ready.
All right, here we go. We're going to end the
All
show
right.
now. Give me a piggyback ride to the Cyber Cafe. A fundraiser for the mayor is gonna happen today. I went out on the town and I went on a date. She's still with her husband, but doesn't know if she'll stay. Big Will on Camp Hansoome, just in case you didn't know. And after this podcast, I'm gonna drive him to a show. It's called The Drinking Debates. It's gonna be a blast, but you cannot go because it happened in the past. Will's Racist Corner. Gonna talk about Will and racism. You might have thought this was the hustle, but motherfucker, it isn't. Camp Handsome rhymes with grandson. Camp Handsome. Bop is by Hanson. Thanks for listening to Camp Handsome.
That was beautiful. Thank you.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Clay.
I ended up not including one of the shows because I forgot which one it was. That must be, at least for me, the forgettable one. I remembered the Cyber Cafe, I remembered the mayor, and I remembered the couple. What was the part that I'm missing?
Cyber Cafe. Oh, you kind of included it because you did the piggyback ride.
Yeah, but
instead
that
of
was...
Yeah, the lift.
Yeah.
the Lyft driver who's
Yeah.
trying to be more exciting.
Oh, yeah, see, so I did.
Yeah.
On accident. There you go. I went with your other part of that, so that's beautiful. All right.